It is 4 o'clock now on your Friday, and the weather is quickly changing all around the state. A cold front rolled through northern Colorado in the last few hours, and the temperatures are in a free fall. It is cold out there, and it will only get colder. Here's a live look right now over northern Colorado. That's the UNC campus right there. Nice outside, but the temperatures are falling. Want to move now down a little bit south over Denver, Colorado, and yeah, it's starting to get gray out there. And if you could feel it out there, the temperatures are also falling. So we're setting up for a frozen weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Mark Salinger.
I'm Alexandra Lewis. At this hour, dangerous Arctic weather is starting to arrive in our state in a lot of places. Tonight, we have team coverage with a look at the impact on our roads. Our weather impact team tracking your hourly forecast and how much snow we can expect.
We start now, though, with 9 News Northern Colorado reporter Amanda Gilbert. Amanda, what's it like where you are?
Yeah, guys, we are kind of headed towards the Windsor, Timnath area. So I'm going to flip the camera around. We are starting to see a little bit of snow. It might be a little hard to see, but it's just coming down really lightly. Visibility still fine. As you can see, snow's not really sticking to the roads or to the ground just yet. But I will say I definitely noticed the change in temperature. It was fine. Now it's definitely starting to feel cold out here. So just starting to see that here. It kind of feels like the storm is just starting, so we'll see how things change as the show goes on. Back to you guys, 9 News.
Amanda, thank you so much. Talk about boots on the ground. She is right at the leading edge of that Arctic front in northern Colorado. Already seeing a few snowflakes. Travel is still fine, but you knew that front was coming when we got that big rush of wind around lunchtime. Pretty soon the cold follows, pretty soon the snow follows. And with the snow and the cold during the evening drive, we're fearful of flash freeze conditions and dangerous driving late tonight. So get things done, get on home and just stay put, because first it'll be the snow and then the bitter cold. And this will be an impact for us starting tonight, but all the way through Tuesday. We'll be talking about maybe record cold along with 3 to 6 inches of snow. And this is going to happen between tonight and Tuesday morning. So it will impact you whether you're trying to get in and out of DIA, trying to drive, or maybe just walking around. We want you to be layered up and ready to go. Our Dr. Coley's going to be talking about frostbite. That is a big worry with the wind chill values that we're forecasting from 20 to maybe even 30 below. Frostbite can occur in less than 30 minutes with conditions like that. Here we are now down to 31 in Denver, 19 in Laramie, 30 in Fort Collins, 30 in Greeley. Fronts moving from north to south. Winds are very gusty out of the northeast. That upslope will bring in that low level moisture, which will get that snow going here in the next hour, hour and a half. Polar plunge coming in 2 waves. First wave will be tonight. Second wave will be later in the weekend. But look at how much of the country is impacted by this system. Here's where the snow is right now, right around Cheyenne and Fort Collins and north of Denver. Hasn't moved into the Denver area yet, but it's coming. Another check of the radar and your weekend forecast in detail coming up.
All right, Kathy, much more from you in a second. We want to get to our 9 News reporter, Jeremy Kohola, who's been on the roads towards the north. Jeremy, can you tell us where you are and what you're seeing?
Yeah, right now we're on Highway 36, headed west towards Boulder, just passing Westminster right now. And we're going to go ahead and change the camera angle here so you can see the gray cloud cover there. The Rockies are essentially shrouded. And as Kathy said, we know that snow is coming in from the north, and when that happens, we can anticipate the highway conditions here and the road conditions around the metro area to change very quickly as we expect several inches of snow. I spoke to Colorado State Patrol. They are urging people this weekend to stay home, and if you do need to go out, be extremely careful and make sure your tires are good, that they're up to date on your vehicle. In the meantime, what we're also going to be talking about at the 4:30 mark is this issue that the Denver Fire Department often runs into when it gets cold like this, and these are fires that are started by people experiencing homelessness. And we found that the fire department will actually take a humanitarian approach to these fires. I'll be talking more about that at the 4:30 mark. Back to you guys.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. We're tracking the roads. We're also thinking about our own personal health because doctors at UC Health are expecting to see more patients with cold-related injuries this weekend. If exposed to the elements for an extended period of time, experts say this weather can be life-threatening. A recent study published by the Journal of American Medical Association showed cold-related deaths have increased. Researchers looked at data from the CDC and found that the number of deaths in which cold weather was an underlying or a contributing cause more than doubled between 1999 and 2022. The study found that cold-related death rates were highest among minority populations and people 75 and older. Researchers, like those at UC Health, believe the deaths have grown because people are not as used to extreme winter weather, which impacts the body's response.
Especially living in Colorado, we're so accustomed to these amazing, temperatures and being outside in the sun that normally we can tolerate being out in the cold when the sun's out. But with these temperatures, it won't really happen. So a lot of people are unprepared for what they're exposed to.
Researchers hope this data leads to more warming centers and indoor heating for some of the most vulnerable citizens. Coming up later in the hour, our 9 News medical expert will join us to discuss more on how do we protect ourselves, all of us, this weekend. We do know of a couple of closures we want to tell you about this weekend. That includes the Denver Zoo tomorrow, the Denver Botanic Gardens all weekend long. The good news is a lot of places and schools are already going to be closed on Monday because of MLK Day. Auraria campus will be doing remote operations Monday, and we'll continue to follow reported closures, of course, as we get them. You'll be the first to know. You can find the full list on 9news.com. There's also another update surrounding the MLK celebrations in Denver on Monday. Organizers are pushing back the start time of the parade to 10:30 in the morning instead of 10. The City Park event will be shortened to keep the exposure time to all that cold low. The events in the Civic Center Park are now canceled. The bike ride as well will not be happening. There will be warming shelters around the parade to keep people warm throughout the route.
The Arctic blast is also impacting the inauguration of President-elect Donald Trump. Today we learned that Monday's ceremony will be moved inside because of the weather in Washington, D.C. It's expected to be the coldest inauguration day since 2009. So the ceremony will now take place inside the Capitol Rotunda. President-elect Trump said on Truth Social that he will also hold an indoor rally at Capital One Arena on Monday where his supporters will be able to watch the ceremony there. The last time the ceremony was held indoors was Ronald Reagan's second inauguration back in 1985. We'll have live extended coverage on Inauguration Day from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. on 9 News Plus. It's free to download, of course, on Roku, Fire, or Apple TV.
A Wheat Ridge High School student has been arrested and accused of making a bomb threat to the school this morning. The threat resulted in a large police presence, and as a precaution, the school let students go a little bit after 11 this morning. But police say no bomb was found and no other schools were affected by this. That student is expected to face a false reporting of explosives charge, which is a felony. In a unanimous decision today, the Supreme Court upheld that ban on TikTok. But what happens on Sunday is still kind of up in the air.
Yeah, so President Biden says it's up to the incoming Trump administration now to enforce the ban. The president-elect has signaled in the past that he would intervene to keep the app running. NBC's Alice Barr has more.
Today, the news 170 million American TikTok users have been fearing for months.
Feels like we're losing, a community.
As the Supreme Court chose not to save the popular video sharing app, instead upholding a federal ban set to take effect in the U.S. on Sunday because of national security concerns over TikTok's Chinese parent company, ByteDance. The High Court citing, quote, TikTok's scale and susceptibility to foreign adversary control, together with the vast swaths of sensitive data the platform collects. But that may not be the final word, TikTok's U.S. CEO appealing directly to President-elect Trump.
I want to thank President Trump for his commitment to work with us to find a solution that keeps TikTok available.
After initially opposing the app, the president-elect has signaled he would intervene.
I'm going to save TikTok.
Today, posting, quote, my decision on TikTok will be made in the not-too-distant future, but I must have time to review. His options are unclear. President Biden signed the law last spring requiring the Chinese owners to sell or shut down in this country on January 19th. Today, passing the problem along to his successor.
Well, the city's going to name it the next president anyway, so I think it'll work.
Two Biden administration officials tell NBC News that during the final hours of his presidency, the federal government will not enforce hefty fines on companies like Apple and Google that give users access to TikTok. Two administrations hoping to dodge the blame for a broadly unpopular ban. In Washington, Alice Barr, NBC News.